Four Peaks Brewing Company is based out of Tempe, Arizona. Founded in 1996, the company went on to be bought out by AB InBev in 2015. Kilt Lifter is one of the brewery's most popular beers, but is it worth sampling? Find out now on Two Dudes Reviews.
What up, guys? Today I've got another beer review. It is Four Peaks Brewing Company's Kilt Lifter Scottish Style Amber Ale. Now, I'm going to be open on a few different things here. One, so this is based out of Arizona, and I'm going to be straight to the point. I don't think, for the most part, I don't think Arizona beers are all that great. Naturally, you're going to find stuff, diamonds in the rough, that tastes good. But overall, I just have not been a giant fan of the Arizona beers. I get that you have to make it to the demographic and to the weather, and it's just super duper hot. And so you're not going to make a lot of heavier stuff. But just coming from like a Rust Belt region where you have a lot of old school breweries that make a lot of great things, I've just never been all that impressed with the vast majority of beers. Now, when you're in Arizona and you're talking to people, a lot of them will point to Kilt Lifter as, if they recommend one beer, it'll be Kilt Lifter. I have not had it yet. I put it off for a while. But I'm going to do it. As you saw in the opening, Kilt Lifter, or Four Peaks Brewing Company, was established in 1996, so they got some, they've been around. But they also sold their souls to the devil by selling out to InBev. So that might bother some of you. You might not give a rat's ass. But I feel like it's important to throw it out there, because really once you kind of sell out to Budweiser, you lose a lot of the shots you're allowed to take. I know some microbreweries will give like 20-30% control to, San Miguel, just kind of helps with distribution. I know Founders does that. I think, I don't know if it's here in Nevada or if it's Ballast Point, but there might be a couple of those more well-known California breweries have also partnered with San Miguel. That I don't have had. Me personally, I don't have as much of an issue with that, simply because you're not handing over majority control to it. You're giving some of it over to take advantage of this distribution. When you sell them to InBev, you guys basically tell us what to do. We'll try to keep what we're doing, but you have board of directors. You've got to meet price quotas, and even when I found out it's owned by Budweiser, basically, then it even made more sense. Some of the labeling looked like it. It's you can't really see. I don't really have any light to really do it, but you know how a Bud Light bottle, the glass feels almost a little thinner. It's almost like you can see a little further through the brown bottle than maybe your standard micro beer. That's what this has. So it has that feeling where you could almost just crush it in your hand. But yeah, that is my little spiel ahead of time. We'll see if they surprise me. I know on social media, on Instagram they have they posted a new one of their lighter beer called Kilt Lifter, and I wasn't kind of wanted to make I'm not a troll, so I didn't make a comment on it, but about Kilt Lifter, is that because you signed off on Budweiser? But I had a problem with them playing themselves up as a micro beer brewery independent kind of thing. They were trying to play that up on social media. It's like, no. You are no longer technically allowed to call yourself a craft brewery. That's one of the rules. I mean, Founders isn't allowed to do it, and I would say Founders is probably still a little more craft brew than Four Peaks now. But so that kind of bothered me that they were still kind of claiming to that. And a lot of the people didn't realize It's like, dude, you know that. I don't know. And that happened. Budweiser or InBev bought them out a few years ago. So I can't tell you if there's been a major taste change. I know there's some beers. There's definitely a taste change. Maybe it's a cracker. I don't know. But there's definitely a taste change with some of them. Like with what was it? I did a review for the British beer. Drawing a blank, but yeah, Heineken bought them out, and then they sent the brewery production over to a California one, and it just kind of killed the taste. So I don't know if I have nothing to compare it to, since I haven't had this before. So let's see if the Pinnacle Arizona beer is worthwhile, even though there's some others that I'll try to get around to, but distribution for some of these Arizona beers is not huge, so we'll see how it goes. But all right, poured it up. Pretty nice color. It is clear. It's a bit clearer than I thought it would be, but that it is. That's what we got, and let's get in the review and check out the smell. You have a subtle toffee aroma to it. Bit of a cream, almost like the starting hint of a cream soda. Not sweet, but you got some of that almost vanilla-y kind of thing going on. There might be a hint of like a prune or a plum, just subtly. I think it's got some of the sweetness from that. This is malty toasted love. Of course, usually when I think of a Scottish style amber, it's usually a little more whip to the nose feel. This doesn't. This is a little smoother. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's definitely like a malty, subtle vanilla, prune, plummy kind of thing going on. I don't think it smells too bad, so I'll recommend it for the aroma. And let's get into the taste. There a little bit of maltiness. Not a bunch, but it's there. That's kind of the first thing you get. And then you do have a little bit of vanilla over the top. It's subtle vanilla, so you can't really tell if it's real vanilla, if it's if it's like artificially whatever, which is fine. I think it's just the right amount of vanilla. I guess there is kind of a bit of that toastedness on the like the malted caramel kind of thing. A little, again, it's very, nothing's really overpowering with this one. You have like a little bit. Nothing is like boom, or nothing is really kind of taking command. It's all, there's no leader in the taste. It's all kind of, which is all right. There's nothing wrong with that. I ain't wrong. I guess once the stop breathing at me. I guess once the beer starts opening up, you get kind of a little more of that malted, roasted taste to it, and the vanilla is kind of starting to fall down. It's not bad. Again, for my Scottish things, I usually tend to like it a little more, like I said, a little more whip to it, a little stronger. This feels, it almost feels like some of the, or a lot of the flavor tastes are kind of muted. It's like, okay, we want these flavors, but we're going to build like this wall or the ceiling on it so that it can't get too strong for any of them. So they feel very like the flavors want to burst out, but you can't. It's just like there's a mute on it. Which, I guess, I mean, when you're making a beer for a place where the season or the year temperature average is like in the 80s, you can't do too many super crazy heavy beers because that's just not going to sell during the majority of the time that it's hot. I was saying that they made one called the Kilt Lifter, which is a lighter version. I could very easily see this kind of strained down even further, so there's almost more of a water taste to it. I could see that. I taste it, and it's like it's almost already there. This almost tastes like the midway point between a traditional Scottish beer and then that lighter thing. This almost tastes like the middle. This is kind of one of those beers where if you're just getting into the world of micro beers or former micro beers and you're not quite ready for some of the other tastes, this one's a fine one to kind of like open the door and get you kind of comfortable with some of those new tastes that you haven't had before. That's kind of what this is. At least that's what I'm getting out of it. I'm trying to think. Like, it's not bad. I don't mind it. I wish some of the flavors were stronger. I wish there was more. Something was a little more. There's something lacking in definition. It's like, this is the standard definition. It's not quite the high def yet. That. Yeah. It's got 6% alcohol. That's surprising. That is surprising. It does not taste like it would have that much. It tastes more like it'd be, 5 at tops. But it's got 6. And, you know what? It's not my favorite. I like other Scottish styles better, but I'm not comparing it directly to them yet. I think taste-wise, it's not bad. It doesn't taste bad at all. I wish there was more flavor, but in general, it's not bad. So I will recommend it for taste. I think if you're just getting into that Scottish Irish kind of red style ale, this isn't a bad way to start. So I'll recommend it for that. Next category is value for price. This is a macro-produced beer masquerading as a micro beer. I don't know what the production is anymore. I'm sure it's still, for the most part, produced in Arizona. I wouldn't be surprised if they start changing that because last I checked for distribution, it's kind of like California through Texas, and that's kind of its window. I wouldn't be surprised if they start expanding that out. I mean, you might as well, I guess, if you're Budweiser. But you're paying much more than you would for, like, I could get another Arizona-made beer that's not heavily distributed by Budweiser, and the price would be similar, if not less expensive. I don't like paying a heftier amount for a beer that is made 90 minutes away when it's made by one of the big boys. I don't like that. Like, not a fan of that. I think it's I think you're just getting kind of overpriced. And it will never say anywhere on here that anything about InBev, Anheuser-Busch. No, it doesn't say anything like that. Apparently you're allowed to do that now. It doesn't say anything, but it is. It doesn't have that dopey-looking independent beer logo, which, I'm sorry, it's such a cheesy-looking logo, the upside down beer where it's like independent. I hate that. You guys, you couldn't afford to get somebody else to make a better looking logo. That's like something a high school kid made in like design class for an extra credit assignment. The kid probably got paid $20 by the beer association, whatever, and then it's just, I don't know. It's cheesy and it's kind of cheap. It's nice that they have a logo, so it's easy to look at, but design-wise, it's kind of lacking. But whatever, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, so it doesn't have the design logo. They tried to make up for it by putting the established Arizona 1996 on it, but I think it's overpriced for what it is. Realistically, you could buy an actual Scottish, not style, an actual Scottish ale for probably the same, if not a little less. I'd say go for that. So I'm not going to recommend it on value price. All right, next category is distinction. How distinct is it? And it's a muted Scottish ale. This is a Scottish ale for beginners. I think that's the best way I can put it. It doesn't taste bad. It's fine when you're just getting those tastes, but there's really nothing like unusual about it. It's just a little muted. So I'm gonna give it a half for that. It's not bad. It's not great. It's nothing really stands out about it, but it's not like poorly done. So yeah, I'll give it a half on that. All right, next category is drinkability, and surprisingly, for beer with 6% alcohol, it goes down pretty well. There's really nothing else to say about it. It goes down pretty well. I think it's not super heavy, and I guess in that instance, the nothing overly toasted or overly malty is almost a good thing. It doesn't. If you're looking to drink it a little quicker, it works perfectly fine for this. So I'll recommend it for drinkability. And all right, last category is would I buy it again? And I don't think so. Like I've held off. Been here almost 4 years. I haven't had it. It never really kind of like spoke to me. It was like I didn't even know exactly what kind of beer it was. I just saw Kilt Lifter. I don't know. Like it just nothing was like, oh yeah. It didn't have that must drink flair to it. So I just got around to it, and I have no real need to drink it again. Like if I get a Scottish, I'll just get a real Scottish. I'll get a Belhaven or something like that, which the price won't be that different. So yeah, I don't think so. I probably won't be getting it again. So no. But all right, that is my review of Four Peaks Brewing Company's Kilt Lifter out of Tempe, Arizona. If you've had this before, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And what are your thoughts? Not necessarily just on this, but have you guys noticed after like InBev takes over maybe your favorite microbeer, have you noticed a difference in taste? That's the one reason why I wish I'd had this when I first got here versus now. I'd be able to compare it a little more. But have you noticed any differences in the beers post Budweiser takeover? Is there just something different about it? I'd love to know what you guys think, or if there is a particular one, what beer you have found that there's a difference with. And maybe it's not necessarily Budweiser. Maybe it was Heineken bought it out because they're gobbling stuff up. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Miller Coors doing that as well. If I saw some interview with the new CEO, it sounds like they are going to hit the pavement hard with going after stuff. So that might be tricky if you want to keep your favorite microbeer away from the big guys, because it sounds like that's going to get harder and harder to do. It's almost like Microsoft and Google and Apple are buying up little companies. It's going to be harder to And then I can't really like bash somebody if they make a product and somebody comes through the door to give you $10 million to sell out. It's like, yes, take it all. I get it. I mean, okay. It's hard to be mad at somebody for that, but me being selfish, I wish it's kind of like if you're a college sports fan and your favorite player goes pro early. I get it. Me being selfish, I wish he'd stay, but I get it. But yeah, let me know all that good stuff in the comments. But so yeah, if you could like, subscribe to all that stuff, it'd be great. This would be a longer one, but there you go. Thanks for watching and all that good stuff. So yeah, for myself and for Four Peaks Kilt Lifter Scottish Style Amber Ale, take it easy.